Good day everyone and welcome to Drawing with Paolo. Today, a simple enough drawing. We're going to draw a battle droid from the Star Wars series. And it sort of starts off with this sort of upside down water drop from which we will add some football player shoulders. So these little paddings here, metal pads that are like triangles on either side. One on the right side here as well, that curves up like this. And there you go. And then of course there's these fists that they have, which is sort of two fingers that look like rectangles with curved edges, and sort of like this. These are his fingers pointing right at us. And then he'll have another outstretched arm that comes from this sort of circular shape and then goes down to this triangular shape. And we'll set up his blasters here, two little circles above his fingers with holes in them. So they look like donuts with a thickness. And then we'll add his thumb. There's this thumb here, a little triangular shape. It's very important to imagine the shapes that your characters are made of, and when drawing those shapes to begin with. And then we'll erase the lines that we don't need within these shapes. So his face is sort of smushed between these two little rectangular rounded shapes. So there's another one on this side, on the left side here. It was sort of down here, and this is his face, all the way to his snout, his little nose that has a curved end, sort of like Snoopy. You can sort of see Snoopy in there, right? Snoopy! And put his visor right here, so he sees through this. And we'll color in the bottom of his face. And these edges are rounded, which are also a little flat, so we'll color those in later on. There's a rounded part up here, and we'll color that in too real quick. Now, some of you have said in the past, and I agree, that you think I draw too quickly. That's fine, I understand. I, however, will not draw a little slower, because I don't want my videos to last 2 hours. But the idea here is that you control YouTube fully. So hit the pause button, play button, rewind button, watch it once fully, watch my drawing once completely, and if you want to draw it, watch it again. And that would allow you to know the next steps one after another. So he's got his chest plate here, and this is where his chest ends. And we'll add a bit more of a thickness later on here on the edge here, just like a little bit thicker and going up like that. That makes more sense. And then there's a little bit of a rounded circular shape here. We'll get rid of those lines in the middle. And no, I do not really erase with my hand. I do use an eraser, and it's just boring to watch me erase. So that's why I use the hand technique. Shoop, just swipe the hand and everything disappears. But that's all done in editing, okay? So it's nothing you can reproduce at home. It's just a video trick. Alright, so now we're going to add the bottom section to this robot. He sort of ends with a circular pattern, little curve, and he's got these secondary parts here that has a sort of egg shape on top like this to the top of his abdomen, and it curves back down in here and goes back up to the top. And there's of course a little bit of a thickness to this one on this side too, on the left side, so we'll reproduce that line and curve that over like that. There we go. Looks like different parts now. And then we'll erase those lines in there. And then we're going to add a bit of shading to this character. So he is metallic, and we have to color in those metallic shading. Keep in mind that these things exist. I have drawings that represent metal, and so if you want to go see my knight in shining armor, the knight in shining armor has really nice reflections. My Terminator drawing has really nice metallic reflections, so you can go check those out, and they might help you in drawing this character here, which is a little bit simpler to draw. Alright, so we're going to, once I've set in my foundation lines, I retrace them with a much darker line. The idea here, and for those of you who've been watching me for a while understand this, the idea here is to draw really light lines so that later on I can erase them easily if I need to, and then go over them with a darker line. Now you can even do that with a marker if you like. Draw with pencil first and put marker down later on, and this will allow you to really control that drawing. Light lines first, dark lines afterwards. So let's color these portions in here. Add a few little details to his blasters that lay on top of his forearms and hands. Color that in. Make a little bit of a shadow here. So let's imagine that the light comes from the top right. And so everything up to the bottom left, oh sorry, I mean top left, and everything at the bottom right needs to be dark. Everything on top left needs to be bright. Everything top right needs to be dark. Does that make sense? If the light's coming from the top left, we need to make everything bottom right dark. And we'll add a bit of reflection here. Add a bit more detail to this thumb, and we'll retrace these lines quite simply, just like that. Some people will say, hey, this drawing doesn't really look like a battle droid. But it's really up to you to draw whatever the heck you want. So it's your drawing, you invent it, create it the way you like, make your character more aggressive, nicer looking, give him a mustache. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is you're inventing stuff, you're being creative. And through drawing, you can be really creative. So just go crazy, have fun, invent stuff. Life sometimes is a little boring, and so with drawing, we can make it a lot of fun. Be creative. And here we go, and add a bit of metallic reflections here on his hand. And you know my technique. Generally, I'll draw on the far left side over here, and the idea is to not smudge my drawing with my hand. And as you see, I'm drawing here this arm on the left side, pardon me. Most of my palm will be scrubbing the drawing that I've already begun. So the idea would have been to start on the left side first, so that I don't smash my drawing with my palm and smoosh everything. Smoosh is actually a technical term. You can look it up. Smoosh your drawing. For lefties, the lefties should start on the right side and draw towards the left. That way we're not smudging our drawing. Of course, we can use that paper technique that I've used in the past, and that paper technique is just to add a piece of paper between your palm and your drawing. That will allow to protect your drawing as you're drawing along. That being said, I will use neither today. I will be brave and just draw from right to left, even though I'm a right-handed illustrator. So let's add this thumb here, a little rectangular shape, and then we'll add a little bit of another piece here that folds over. And oh yeah, I forgot, I have Iron Man drawings too, and those Iron Man drawings represent a lot of chrome and reflections. So check those out. Go see on my YouTube channel. They're really cool, I think. Anyway, I find those ones really well drawn. So we'll add a little bit of an elbow articulation piece here. Color that in with a light gray. There you go. Look at that. Very good. A little bit of thickness here. I need to add there. Give that a little bit of a depth to that part. And the thickness. And the thickness under here will be dark because the light can't reach that section. And we'll retrace this a little bit darker now because I'm happy with these foundation lines. We'll just retrace those in. I just bonked the camera with my head. Thank you, Mr. Camera, for bonking my head. I'm going to color this in here like that. There we go. You can put in a lot more detail if you like. All you need to do is go to Google or Bing or whatever your preferred search engine is, Yahoo search, and search for Battle Droid. And you'll find some images online that you can help in producing this picture. Just go ahead, go nuts. Find whatever info you can find and use it in your drawings. It's not cheating. Cheating would be me putting the piece of paper on top of a drawing and tracing it. That's sort of cheating. I can learn something from that, but it's easier to use your eyes and look at something and reproduce them. So, I've done my bit of research. I've gone through the web. I've looked up a whole bunch of different images, and now I'm making something that I want to combine here. So this arm has multiple pieces, starting from the shoulder pad here. I guess it's laser proof, and then of course his forearm here on the right side. I'm mixing up my right and my left today. Right side. This is the right side. This here will be black. Nice and dark. Push that back a little bit in the drawing. Then we'll come back to his shoulder pad and rotator cuff here. And color that in. There you go. Remember to pause this part on YouTube so that you can catch up. I'm pretty sure you can't color as fast as I can in this sense where I'm fast forwarding the video. But just pause it and you can catch up later on. So I'm sure you Star Wars fans out there are excited for Episode 7. Yeah, baby! Episode 7 is coming up next year. We've seen the trailer come out recently. And yeah, I'm quite excited to see what this is all going to be about. That lightsaber with a hilt on it is pretty cool. I think it's something we've never seen before. It makes a lot of sense where, if you don't want to get your hand chopped off by one of those lightsabers, then you may want to have a hilt to protect from that blade from sliding up to your hand. So there's some kind of fancy idea. People from the future sure aren't thinking ahead, aren't they? We've been using hilts forever here on Earth. Alright, let's retrace some of these lines, make them nice and dark. It's nice, the reflection lines here. Just a little bit darker. Over here, don't forget these lines. And drawing is all about building up layers. You start with a base layer, light lines, and then you build upon them and build upon them. And at the end, when you're happy, you have a really awesome drawing. This drawing here isn't very difficult. It's all made of very basic shapes. However, if you are just starting drawing for the first time and you're watching me for the first time here, maybe it's a good idea to go find some simpler videos. But don't be discouraged. Do this one. Have at it. I'm here to help you guys out and learn all kinds of tricks to drawing. The idea is, however, I don't want to discourage you. So if you're starting out in drawing and this is the first drawing you see of mine, go check out my YouTube channel, Paolo Moroni, on YouTube, and all you need to do is look for the pumpkin, which is an easy drawing. We've got the mangosh, or little saber, is an easy drawing. You can look for the 3D letters, you can look for the basic 3D shapes, and those will give you a good way of starting off. There's the lemons, there's a bunch of little drawings out there that exist already. They'll sort of build up your courage into going into the world of drawing. But as I said, if you want to go ahead and attack this one, feel free to do it. There is no exam at the end of this video, so everybody passes. As long as you pick up the pencil and draw, and try to draw daily, then hey, you're a winner. You're a winner in my book anyway. Alright, so we're going to color this along. Add those vertical lines here, horizontal rather. And then retrace this contour line here, and add a little line here. There we go, it's coming along. Make this nice and dark like this. And then we'll color this part in. And then we'll add a bit of a chrome, or it's not really chrome, it's more like of a brushed metal kind of feel for these guys. So we'll add a little bit of a metallic reflection here. Making sure to leave a little bit of white. The white is the white light reflection on this robot. Robot, robot. That's my nephew likes saying that. Robot, robot. I think he wishes he was a robot. Robot, robot. So we'll draw the bottom part here. Just like that. And we'll add two vertical lines here. It's sort of like, I guess it's a reinforced bend in his abdomen. And then here's his leg, right leg. The top of it anyway. We'll do his left one too. But first there's the sort of rotating bit that goes here. And then attaches to his leg with this little thing. It's like a piston. Piston. That reminds me of Cars. You know Cars, the animated cartoon series Cars, or cartoon movie, and where he goes, piston. He did what in the cup? Piston cup. And the piston cup was a piston. I thought that was a funny joke. Let's erase this, and then we'll make the thickness to this leg, just like that. Nice dark lines. And we'll color this in a few seconds. But first I want to complete a little bit more details on the left side here. And just like that, and then line all the way down. And then this piston will be on top of this. So here's the piston like that, like that. And then we'll color this in. Make the thickness there. Make another circle, make another circle, make another circle. Just adding details, make it look more realistic, and color that in because it's nice and dark back there. And then we can add a few colored pieces back here to detach every one of those little curls and curves and circles. I want the bottom half to be a little bit darker, so it looks like it's underneath and behind the robot top, which makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? And I'll color this in here with a little bit of a, so it looks like it's another cylinder or circle in there, another cog in the robot, and we'll add little teeth to that by going with a little bit of a horizontal line. And then there we go, I'll add a few more details. Keep in mind, folks, that I do have books online that can help you in learning how to draw. There are 3 books out there at the moment. There's one which is Learning How to Draw Basic Shapes. There's the other one which is about light and shadows.